Hey besties, how we doing? Started cleaning up my stuff here. Um, I moved my monthly planner thing up to behind my computer. Because I'm having a day, and because it fell. Um, Silly sticky tape, painter's tape. Yeah. Anyway, so I read some books. Wrote some stuff. I'm having difficulties keeping up with my stuff because life happens. But I just took a course. I took a yellow belt course in Lean Six Sigma for work, and it was interesting. Um, and I'm doing the drawbox, the 50 box challenge. This is the last couple ones I did. I'm almost done with the first 50. That was number 47's on here. I got three more. This is like the first five. This isn't about my art, but I've been considering doing a separate art channel. Um, in the comments, let me know if I should do that because I feel like I'm talking about art a lot, and like I'm literally like right here on my desk. I have the the fine liner pencil or fine liner pen that I've been drawing with. I've got this fantasy game, um, fantasy creativity game for fantasy artists, and I've got not that. I've got all my work from Drawbox, right, and all the doodles I've been doing, all the sketching I've been doodling, right. So yeah, I really got to draw like 50 boxes. Um, I should do a retrospective. But basically, what I've been doing is like that is kind of like the work part, and then this is kind of like the fun part, where I'll draw like a scene from an anime. Um, that's I'm not really gonna toot my own horn, but I'm saying I'm having fun, and when I can draw something well enough to that my kids can color it in, then I consider that a win, which is kind of what's happening so far. But anyway, um, there are a few series that are like my day ones that I will always listen to the day they release. I've pre-ordered some things. Basically, thank you, Miles English, for restoring my faith in humanity. That you can do with RPG amazingly. Box Standard Isekai Book 4, it's called Benighted, came out, and it is a trip. Um, there's a reason that, like, whatever RC Joshua writes or whatever Miles English writes, I'll just buy it. Like, I don't care what you're doing, I want more of it because it's the same author, it's the same vein, right? And that's kind of what I want people to understand. Like, if people like my stuff, they'll probably like all my stuff because I have a way of telling a story, right? Like I didn't just tell you the whole story of Blockchain or Sky. But Nighted is about how Bryn, who's a glass-bound illusionist, he's isekai, which means another world. He's brought into another world in book one, and he starts to adapt to it. He's does a lot of stuff that's in world. He's like he has the mind of a 26-year-old, and then he comes back and he's like 13, and then I think he's like 15 at the end of this book. But like Miles English, he's not rushing it. He's doing like exactly the way it should be. He's building up to a good story. I think this is probably gonna be a 6 or 7 book story. I don't know, but I could see him doing the way that the plot is going. I could see him doing a book 5. The book 5 is called Warbound, and I could see book 6, depending on how book 5 goes. Um, but yeah, so Box Art Sky, 5 stars. I already listened to it, finished it within 3 days. That was like 16 hours. So that's my commute, gym time, all that wrapped into one. And I can only recommend that you also check it out. Um, so here's the deal: you can get like an Audible credit. You can buy it with Audible. So like basically the entire thing. So like I'm going to tell you about my favorite pieces of media, right? So my absolute favorite piece of media is Dungeons and Daddies, which is a podcast. Um, it is the best produced thing I've ever listened to. Literally crying at times because of like the way that things are, laughing at like every episode. Because it's a live play D&D podcast, because the people in it, they know exactly what they're doing, right? They know how to deliver it. They know how to tell a story. They know how to play characters, right? This is like the equivalent of that, right? And for like $48, you can have the entire thing, right? So like Miles English, your life has come down to me being like $48. You can have this guy's whole catalog in this one series, and you can listen to all of it, right? Like Actus has like 5 books out on the Rebound Professor. Like for $60, you can have the best 100 hours, probably 100, the best 120 hours of listening of your life, right? So like, yeah, would I pay for that? Yes. This goes back to like, if I pay $60 for a video game, I will get $60 of enjoyment out of it. If I'm paying $12 for an audiobook, I will get so much enjoyment out of it. And sometimes like we listen to an audiobook. I listened to the Bolivar series like 4 times, at least the first 3 when it was only the first 3, because it's really good. That's the series that made me become an author. Dennis C. Taylor, I love you. Thank you. Keep it up. But I probably wouldn't have found him if it wasn't for like an Instagram ad, which means that basically I'm here because I clicked on an ad and became an author because of that, which is kind of depressing in a way. But I was always listening to books, right? The counterfactual is, would I have become a writer? No, I had already written a NaNoWriMo before then. I just never really had the reason. Was it the this is where like I can't go back in time and be like, if I hadn't read the Bibleverse, there's no counterfactual. Like reading that was like life changing to me, and it put me on a different path. Just like listening to like my favorite album was like God Loves Ugly by Atmosphere for a long time, and not and hearing that changed my life in such a way that I'm like, okay, I know all these indie rappers that I like listen to them when I need that oomph, right? But I can't think of a world in which I'm not like an Atmosphere fan, which is a niche rapper. Atmosphere, ASAP Rock, um, all those little guys that I'm just like, all right, I love you guys. I don't know if you're gonna make it big, but your songs are great. Trying to find a balance, right? Uh, Day turns night, night turns day. Lock eyes with 1,000 mind people at the same time. Ain't mine, believe it is. Right. What's the line? Lock eyes with 1,000 people at the same time. Ain't mine, believing this. I don't know. I had to listen again. The reason just the Midwest. So I might make a rap album if I get bored. But anyway, so I've been seriously looking into what else is going on in my life. So boxing and isekai, great. I'm like in a great mood because I got some good news yesterday. Not the ones I was expecting that involved this, but like other good news. Um, like it's like a weight got off my back, and now I'm in such a happy mood. You could not stop my shine. But I also have 5 days off, right? So I'm very happy. I'm gonna get shit done. I already did like so much housework. I'm like I'm ready. Anyway, so I'm very happy to say I'm in a good mood, and I'm in a very like infectious good mood, and I'm like pretty sure like when my daughter gets up in a little bit, I'm gonna be like, we're gonna hang out, we're gonna have a great time. I'm gonna do my Amazon returns from Christmas and get that off my back. I'm gonna do some packing. This will probably be different. Might be selling some board games. I'll be giving some away. Who knows? But like sometimes you're just like, I just needed that to be over with, and now that I've gotten past one thing, I'm like, all right, good. Um, anyway, so I started reading. So then once I finished boxing and isekai, I started trying to find something because I'm doing a lot of education stuff right now, like personal education stuff. I didn't expect that. It just happened to be what my boss at work has asked me to do. So I'm listening to the War of Art which is very interesting, and it's only like 3 hours long. So with 1.5 speed, that's like 2 hours halfway through. And I want to talk about muses, and I want to talk about your subconscious or your unconscious mind, and how the more that you read good books, contracts and cats, not my Polaroid thing. The more that you train your brain to understand what good is, right? So you like instinctively know after you've seen enough, like, okay, this is bad, this is good, or like this is my taste, this is not my taste, right? Like I'm not gonna write a dark romance. I'm gonna write a cozy um, type thing, right? But like the War of Art's about like that like resistance against doing thing, which like I don't want to jinx myself and say I don't have that, but like I just decide to just wake up and do the thing instead of just feeling resistance. And this goes back to like I think this is probably the book for rebels. Which if you don't know what Rebel is, I have a 40-minute long video about rebels. I think it's 40 minutes long, where I try to explain like all the little nuances about what I've heard works. It's based out of Gretchen Rubin's Four Tendencies framework. I feel like this is kind of the book for creative rebels. And the reason I say it is that like a lot of them, they feel blocked. They can't do anything because external forces are like putting them. They don't want to do something because someone told them to do it. And if someone asks, so if someone tells them, it's like, hell no, I'm not going to do that. If someone asks them, they might do it if it aligns with their internal vision, right? But like, you tell a rebel to do something, that is the last thing they will do, right? Especially, and this like what sucks. It's like if they really want to do something, and then you tell them to do it, like drink water. They're like, I will absolutely never pass a drop of water from my lips. And there's no reason I know that from experience. No reason at all. Nope. Yeah, I would never mention that for any particular reason. Side note, power couples. Rebels that married to upholders like me and my wife. I know another power couple where, two power couples where like the rebel married to an upholder. It's like, you guys have to be super aligned. So I'm rambling today because the war now got me thinking about resistance to actually doing a thing. So let me give you an example from my life. So I used to, when I was training to get in the military, like the first thing they do is like make sure your physical fitness is up, right? So I had this like little diagram of like, and I was living in New Jersey, right? And training in winter is difficult if you want to run, but like I had a chart of what I should wear based on what the temperature was because unless there was snow on the ground, I was running, right? Most days, unless it was like not a running day, which 4 times out of the week it was a running day. So I'd say, okay, temperature 65 degrees, I can wear a t-shirt and shorts. Temperature 15 degrees, I need to have Under Armour bottom, Under Armour top. Temperature is negative 20, running not available, right? So like I would have this thing like whatever excuses that I have to be like, oh, it's too cold. I would just like, there's no choice, right? Because my goal was to join the military, right? And I had to be in this amount of shape because I want to be an officer, right? And you can't show up as an officer and be untrained, right? You have to pass the PT test. You have to be able to run a 5-minute mile. I wish I could do that right now. Maybe do a 10-minute mile. But anyway, like you have to be like in the best shape of your life that you can get. Then you're gonna go to training, and then you get in better shape, and you go to another training, get in better shape, and then like you're kind of on your own, right? But those habits that you build up, right, of just sitting down and doing the work, right, it's ingrained in you. So like the more resistance you have to an action, the more it is. So the easier it is to make something happen. Like I want to make drawing easy, so I have 2 copies of this. I have one in my office at work. I have one here. I have this page here. I have paper at both places. So since part of the drawing is having 3 colors, I have that are both pages. I can't show you my phone because I'm recording on my phone, but like I have my phone is synced to my computer, is synced to like my other phone to my backup, right? So like no matter what device I have, I can write, right? So all that resistance is like, oh, you can't do it right now because you don't have access to that. No bullshit, right? And this gets even worse when you have like responsibilities. Like I'm a parent now, so if I don't exercise at noon at my lunch break, that's not going to happen, right? Or I have to get up at 5 a.m., right? Because right, whatever reason, I have to be up by 6 for the kids. Because no matter what, they will be up at 6. And then there's a chance that if I wake up at 5 a.m., they might want to come with me. And I can't go on a long run with my son because he's just not ready for the 20 degrees, right? But that's all there's these like resistances where you're like, yeah, I've been talking about resistance for a while. So this is a really good book because it tells you about like all these kinds of resistances. Like you might think like you can like just do the thing, but like it's not just going to happen. You have to actually sit down. And people like to think that the hard part is the writing. No, the hard part is just showing up. And you have to show up every day, right? I didn't even get to talk about everything, but like I'm in a great mood, so I'm rambling. So think about how you're showing up every day, right? Are you showing up uh, begrudgingly? Like, can you make it easier to show up? Like, can you make it so that all you have to do is dictate your notes into your phone for half an hour while you're doing your normal walk, right? That's pairing things together. You pair a thing you want to do with another thing you want to do, or unpairing, right? So, like, taking the app off your phone, right? Like, we're all fighting doom scrolling. I've got several Discord forums, servers where I want to hang out a lot, but I don't need to because I need to finish my work, right? And I am absolutely committed to finishing this 47 and do 3 more. I'll do 3 more before I start my next thing. But like I'm enjoying this. This is a process. Um, this feels like I'm practicing scales, right? Like with the guitar. But I'm also like, okay, I can see where this is going, and I like being an experienced master in a different field because I can be like, all right, I see how the fundamentals are in this field, right? I see how like the fundamentals of drawing and perspective are in this field. How like you could just take the same principles in any other field of just showing up and doing the work to get better, right? And then you just have to get to that cliff of like my work is not going to be that much better for a while. However, if I keep at it for a while, right? There's the reason people would call me up and ask me by name when they were planning these big exercises. They would say like, "Hey, can I get this guy? Can I talk to this guy about this thing? Can I have this stuff that he has, right? Special sauce, whatever." I'm kind of be cagey, but like I'm known for specific things um, at work, right? Like there's a reason. There's a reason that like I was getting called up, right, for work, right? So that's the same thing because I show up the right way, right? I show up every day and I give them the thing, and I'm consistent, right? And that's the same way you want to be. You want to be consistent, right? But if you're waiting for motivation to strike, it's not gonna happen. So don't wait for motivation. Just do the thing. Like there's got to be a way to beat your brain into submission, and I kind of think that's the point of the war of art. So like I'm gonna get into muses and whatever in the second half today. Listen to that. But like if you give your brain the information, right? This is why I used to be a plotter, now I'm a pantser. Your unconscious brain knows which way the story should go, which way the story would be most entertaining. Follow that, right? Like so, like I don't have a full outline. I have like a kind of a loose outline of where things are going um, in the story, right? So I know I'm doing a tournament arc right now. Well, not really a tournament, more like a dueling thing. I know where it's going right now. I know long term. I know where I want it to go with like a false defeat or a false victory at the end of book one. But I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen. But I know what the characters want, and I know what they want to do next, right? So I'm kind of using that I'm using the knowledge of all the books that I've read, all the stories I've read, all the 500 titles in my Amazon Kindle library that I've read, the hundreds of audiobooks I've listened to, right? It's not just studying like the nuts and bolts. It's like looking at what the masters have done and just be like, I want to make my own thing. What have other people done? Okay, great. Now I'm making my own. But anyway, Box Energy Sky. I didn't even talk about Westfall. I'll talk about Westfall next time. Westfall, great book. Listening to it is very heavy. The sequel, um, to Vigilance. It's about Fox Girls. It is it's like the heaviest thing I've read in a while. So thank you, Celero. I know this. I know this author personally, and I'm just like emotional damage is on every page. Every page. Not even like bad emotional, but like good emotional damage. Where you're like, oh no, this person's gonna die a horrible, grisly death, and it's gonna be painful. Wait, not even that. Like, oh man. So Westfall, great book. I'm reading that right now, and reading the War of Art. I'm gonna get some stuff done. You should get some stuff done. Being a parent has clarified, like, hey, I have this time, this limited time in which I can do stuff. Then the rest of the time is like being a dad. So I'm gonna use the time that I have to do stuff. And do all my stuff right now, my weird vacation, and I'm gonna enjoy it. So besties, um, let me know if I should do a art channel or a small business channel or something like that. Everyone knows I have like 17 side hustles because I can't stop doing it because I have that entrepreneurial spirit. Um, so much that like several of my characters have become entrepreneurs inside of their stuff, like Bodega Cat or Finley from Imagine Wagons, an entrepreneur. I don't know. I was a coach. I like to coach people. Do it for free. Who knows? Have a great day, besties. Um, tell your friends. Read Imagine Wagons. Imagine Dragons. Imagine Wagons. See you fun.